We are live.
Okay. Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Trustee Cheney,
Here.
Mayor Newhart,
Here?
Trustee Calora,
Here.
Trustee McKnight,
Here.
and Isabella Hayes. And we have Benjamin Gailey absent as well as Trustee Foster.
Great. Thank you. So before we start the meeting tonight, we actually have a pair of proclamations. And I'm going to give the floor to Deputy Mayor Cheney to do the first one.
Before I get to the proclamation, just a few remarks. May 17th through the 23rd is National Public Works Week. This year's theme, Rooted in Service, Powered by Community, acknowledges that the roots of service run deep in public works. It's what has propelled public works innovations that have helped our communities evolve into places where people can lead lives of purpose and possibility. Some work, like building roads and bridges, is highly visible, while other public works contributions, like maintaining water and sewer systems, are sometimes hidden from view. Together, these efforts form the foundation of thriving communities, reminding us that every project, seen or unseen, powers the connection between service and the people it supports. At this time, I'd like to invite our Assistant DPW Commissioner Mike Finelli up, and I'll read the proclamation. Whereas the employees of the Village of Warwick Department of Public Works provide essential services that protect the health, safety, and quality of life of our residents each and every day, and whereas the Village of Warwick Department of Public Works is responsible for maintaining and improving the infrastructure and public spaces that our community depends upon, including roads, water systems, parks, buildings, drainage systems, public facilities, and snow and ice removal operations. And whereas Public Works employees often work behind the scenes in all weather conditions and at all hours, responding to emergencies, maintaining critical services, and ensuring that village operations continue to function safely and efficiently for residents, businesses, and visitors alike. And whereas the Village Board recognizes the dedication, professionalism, skill, and hard work demonstrated daily by the members of the Village of Warwick Department of Public Works, whose efforts contribute greatly to the appearance, safety, and continued success of our community. And whereas the American Public Works Association has designated May 17th through May 23rd, 2026 as National Public Works Week in recognition of the substantial contributions made by public works professionals throughout the nation. And now therefore, we, Mayor Michael J. Newhart, and the Board of Trustees of the Village of Warwick do hereby recognize May 17th through 23rd as National Public Works Week in the Village of Warwick and extend our sincere appreciation to the members of the Village of Warwick Department of Public Works for their continued service, dedication, and commitment to our community.
Great.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. And thanks for coming out tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And I have a proclamation, and I'll stand for this. And this is a proclamation for Professional Municipal Clerks Week, which was May 3rd, I believe. Let me get that right. May 3rd through May 9th. And so it was after our last meeting, so we're catching up. And I just want to say, as great works that are performed outside of this building, incredible works are performed in this building. And that is the incredible teamwork and skill of mostly women, but I would say the women who are clerks for many different departments. So let me give this proclamation. So whereas the office of the municipal clerk serves as a vital link between local government and the community, ensuring transparency, accessibility, accountability, and the preservation of public trust. Whereas municipal clerks perform essential duties that support the daily operations of local government, including maintaining official records, preparing meetings, agendas, and minutes, administering public notices, coordinating elections and licenses, responding to residents, assisting elected officials, boards and departments, and occasionally preparing proclamations such as this. Whereas municipal clerks are dedicated public servants who uphold the principles of open government while ensuring that important public information and historical records are properly maintained and accessible to the community. And whereas the Village of Warwick recognizes the professionalism, knowledge, dedication, and commitment demonstrated by municipal clerks, whose work often takes place behind the scenes, but remains critical to the effective operation of village government and service to the public. And whereas the International Institute of Municipal Clerks, IIMC, has designated May 3rd through May 9th, 2026, as the 57th Annual Professional Municipal Clerks Week in recognition of the important contributions municipal clerks make to communities throughout the nation. Now therefore I, Mayor Michael J. Newhart, and the Board of Trustees of the Village of Warwick do hereby recognize Professional Municipal Clerks Week in the Village of Warwick and extend our sincere appreciation to our clerks for their continued dedication, professionalism, service to the residents of our community. Yes, thank you. And as the representative, would you accept that? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. We'll move to the acceptance of minutes. May I have a motion to accept the minutes of April 20th, 2026 and May 4th, 2026?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And may I have a motion to accept the following reports? April 2026 Clerk's Office, Treasurer's Statement of Revenue and Expenditures, Justice Department, Planning Department, Building Department, and Department of Public Works and Building Department. All reports are on file in the Clerk's Office.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And may I have a motion for authorization to pay all approved and audited claims in the amount of $281,626.39.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the Chief of Police is not here this evening, so we'll move on. We do have a public hearing on the proposed application of the Orange County Community Development Block Grant for this coming year, or fiscal year 2027. And Jen, would you please read the public notice?
Yes. Notice of public hearing, Orange County Community Development Block Grant Funding, CDBG fiscal year 2027. Please take notice that on Monday, May 18th, 2026 at 7:30 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be heard, a public hearing will be held before the Board of Trustees of the Village of Warwick, New York at Village Hall, located at 77 Main Street, Warwick, New York. The Village of Warwick will hold a public hearing so that the public may offer comments and suggestions regarding projects to be considered by the Village of Warwick. For application of $75,000 up to $275,000 for public infrastructure, public improvements, public facilities, or other eligible activities to the Orange County Office of Community Developments to be considered for inclusion in the county's 2027 Action Plan to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, to be funded by the 2027 Community Development Block Grant, CDBG. The action plan functions as a planning document, an application for federal funds, and a strategy to be followed in administrating HUD programs. The 2027 county's annual action plan will be prepared and submitted to HUD on or before November 15, 2026, or upon such date as instructed by HUD. The purpose of the public hearing is to obtain the views of residents of the municipality, public agencies, and other interested parties on housing and community development needs, to suggest projects to address such needs, and affirmatively further fair housing. There will be a discussion of community development needs within the Village of Warwick, proposed projects, and a review of any previous projects funded with CDBG. Organizations representing people with low and moderate incomes and people with low and moderate incomes are encouraged to attend this hearing so that their views may be heard, as the CDBG program benefits people with low to moderate income. The Village of Warwick will make reasonable accommodation and services necessary for citizens with sensory impairments and disabilities at the public hearing. Translation services may be offered upon request and availability. People requiring such accommodations/services should contact the Village of Warwick at least 3 working days in advance of the meeting. People requiring information in alternative format should contact the Village of Warwick at 845-986-2031, TDD users 711NY Relay Center. La información será proporcionada en español de petición.
Very good.
I asked Sandra.
Okay. If anybody would like to comment on projects that they think that might be important for us as a community to pursue, there are restrictions with community development funds. In some ways, in many cases, they are income related to neighborhoods, so that is limiting to some degree. Many of the projects that we have done in the past 4 or 5 years have been sidewalk work creating greater handicap accessibility. So the entirety of South Street was that project over multiple years. And we are looking at actually a project for this year or for next year to extend that work from South Street to Park Lane. Or is that?
No, well, it'd go from basically Parkway and Park Ave from South Street. So it's a connection between the Stanley Deming Park area and the school
And the school.
with sidewalks.
That's correct.
And there are a good number of people who walk their kids to school in the morning.
Yeah. So, but I have also been recently contacted today by a neighbor near that area as well on Clinton, and was wondering if that would be a good candidate. And I think we should look at that for a future project, because again, that connects to the parks, and some of those sidewalks are very old and in very bad condition. So. Young ladies, any thoughts?
Do it. I mean, I lived on Clinton, and yeah,
Yeah.
sidewalks are a little iffy,
Yeah.
but yeah, that makes sense. Because it goes up to Galloway, or you go out Linden to, it's all connected, so getting to the park is important.
It's been interesting with the New York State DOT project, because they have done a tremendous amount of sidewalk repair, replacement, removing a fair amount of bluestone with cement. And I think people were apprehensive, but now with the final product, people are very pleased, because we have so many walkers in our community and kids on bicycles, and to have that really clean surface for transportation.
It's light too, I mean, in terms of, it's not dark like the bluestone, and at night it's easier to see where you're going,
Yeah,
so easier to navigate.
yeah.
I love the bluestone, but there comes a point when it's just safer,
That's correct.
so.
And that's what it's all about, so, thank you. Board members, any thoughts?
I mean, I think that the piece we're talking about is across from Stanley Deming, where it's currently asphalt. It's kind of just
It's pretty crappy.
over top of
Yeah.
whatever, and it's pretty cracked, so. To me, that's a natural spot, but is that the only spot, just from Park Lane to?
No, there are spots further up on Parkway, and then the Park Ave portion between Parkway and the school. There are significant sections of that will be replaced, and everything needs to have the ADA compliant ramps. So that's
Right,
going to be
right.
part of the work as well at each intersection.
Mary? Any?
No, I agree with everyone.
Good. Well, may I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. And we'll open it up
Were we
to,
gonna do Karen first, or?
oh, yes, we should do Karen first. Okay. We are connecting with one of our village engineers, Karen Clark, who's going to review some costs associated with the upgrade of the wastewater treatment plant. And I'm going to ask her to just give some background on what has happened. Or I can do that. So might be faster. So we
Hi, Karen,
received.
are you there?
Yes.
Okay. We received a $3 million grant. Basically 25% of the initial project, the estimated cost of the initial project for the wastewater treatment plant. At that time, 8 years ago, it was estimated at $8 million, or $12 million, thank you. Over time, costs have risen, and there are many reasons, many factors. Beyond COVID, beyond tariffs, it's just that length of time, we've seen a dramatic increase in the cost of materials and labor. And so when we did go about opening our bid this year, it came in at 18, over 18
Just for
million.
the construction.
Right. And then with the other added benefits, including engineering, it came to approximately 21 million. Big numbers, large numbers. We were definitely in shock when we were trying to wrap our head around that. But what we did was we went back to the EFC, who it is a quasi-governmental loaning institution, is the way I can describe it. Just, we didn't have to plead our case. I think they saw it rather clearly, that we were struggling with this new amount. And we asked them to relook at that to see if they could refinance it with the new number. And they were open, and there was some discussion internally. And I want to just say, Karen, thank you for going to bat for us, because that was really important, very necessary. But I'm going to hand it over to you with just that little description of where we are. And if you could give the board a lay of the land, that would be
Sure.
wonderful.
If I show that one handout that I had sent you, will that show on the screen?
Yes.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, here, yes.
We have
So I
printouts.
know-
We have printouts as well.
Okay, did you get the one around 6 o'clock or so? Or is it the original one? from-
It's the original one with the, yeah.
I
Okay,
have
so that
the one.
actually was a little bit higher. I had neglected to take out, we didn't award all the ad alternates that we had hoped to do, so the one that's on the screen is the correct amount, and it's a lower amount than what's on that.
Okay.
The handout that you have. So like the mayor said, when the bids opened, we, immediately called EFC to talk to them about, I guess we knew they were gonna be higher, we didn't think they were gonna be as high as they came in. But, we started talking to them and what alternatives do we have? And also the mayor, I'll give him kudos also, he worked with their grant writer, there was a bunch of grants requests that went out like immediately to different congressmen, senators, things like that. I don't think we've heard on any of those, but very proactive in terms of trying to find alternative sources. But EFC, like the mayor mentioned, is a state agency that kind of partners with and provides municipalities with different kinds of funding. And they basically said there's two options on the table. Option one is what we originally went in with, saying can we expand the funding to accommodate the higher bid prices. So this is the total, kind of the numbers the mayor was reading off. The total with everything would have been 21.7-ish, right around there. The WIA grant that you've already had was a little over $3 million, leaving 18.6. The funding reserves that you guys already had in place for the money that you've been collecting would leave a total borrowing of just over like $12.5 million. Assuming we did still have a contingency in here of $987,000, hoping to not have to use that. But you know, anytime you're doing reconstruction surgery on invasive treatment plants, you know, you open up the ground, unfortunately, the record drawings say the pipe's supposed to be in spot A, it might be in spot B, so there may be things that just need to get fixed or addressed, and or, you know, other things that the village may wish to add to the project along the way. So, worst case, the long-term borrowing would have been about $12.6 million. So EFC, like we said, understood our case, understood the timing. Like the mayor said, there was multiple issues associated with the timing of this. EFC being part of that overall review time also. So I think they were cognizant of that. Came back and said, well, what we can do, right now they can't just automatically increase your WIA. You have a grant amount, you already have that in place, they can't change that. The option would be to make it be a two-step process now. So to close out your loan right now, which would fund the UV project that's already been done, engineering services that were done through the design, whatever your bond council costs are, this is just a placeholder. That would come up with maybe $1.56 million would get closed on right now. Your WIA grant is 25% of those costs, bringing that walk down to like $1.17 million or thereabouts. So just taking that, I apologize. The one other thing that's been kind of in the works in the background is you are now classified as a hardship community, which honestly sounds kind of sad, but it actually is very good from a funding perspective. That will mean your loans, your long-term loans will be at 0%. So that actually very much dramatically changes your long-term payments, where before you would have been at a subsidized rate, paying still a little bit probably less than market rate, maybe 2.5%, 3%, but just going to 0% is very, very significant in terms of your overall payback of the loan. So this is just simple math, taking what you'd be borrowing on the first one, dividing by 30 years. Again, I know you have plans to pay this off faster. That first loan would have a $39,000 payment per year for 30 years, depending on however you want to pay it off. So the second phase would be EFC loan number 2. So they would be paying for the construction costs, the general and electrical construction costs, the construction observation services, so we monitor what the contractors are doing, still having a contingency amount in there. This would lead to a second bond council cost, most likely, because there would be 2 separate loans, again, just a placeholder for something in there, giving a total, subtotal above the line of about $20 million for the phase 2. But because they would allow you to reapply for another WIA grant, you can basically get 25% of that. So the difference between the overall totals is the difference between having the grant in hand of $3 million to potentially having $5.43 million in grants. So that is relatively significant, knowing that your annual payment that you were hoping to have was $500,000. We're basically taking 5 payments off the top, basically, by getting, if that grant is secured. The challenges with that is the timing. As the mayor kind of alluded to, just getting to the EFC short-term loan, the first go-around was a very timely process. We had a team call with them last Thursday. They felt if we got everything rolling, that means having you listed on the PLUS system by the end of the month, getting a new application in with the updated numbers, having all of that done between like the October timeframe when their new IUP comes out, that they could potentially get you into short-term financing in January of 2027. Maybe optimistic, but that's basically what they said. So the challenge is, what do we do? Because we're moving forward with awarding this to the contractors, because just delaying a year or anything like that and having to rebid is just going to, it's not going to make things any cheaper. So we asked the contractors, both the general and the electrical, what they felt they would spend, based on starting the project in June of this year. The general contractor felt about $6 million of the total would be constructed, and then the rest would be finished in 2027. The EC was more a percentage. They said 10 to 20%. I went high and used the 20%. And then the 427 is just B&L's cost a straight line over an 18-month construction period. That's an assumption of 6 or 7 months out of that work to come up with. That ended up being about $7 million or so. So I added in that you would have to have a ban to basically cover those costs. So doing that ban interest at 3.5, again, I don't know exactly what you'd be paying, and assumed it would take up to a year. Again, I think we're being conservative, so that's probably the worst case scenario in terms of the cost there. Still having the $6 million in the reserves that you have, so obviously with the ban that ups the total project cost slightly, so your total borrowing at the end would be $10.6 million, we'll just round it up slightly. So your overall loan payment for that would be $352, so significantly less, assuming you were going the whole 30 years, significantly less than the $500,000 that you were anticipating. So if you did want to keep paying the extra money, you would basically pay that off in about 21 years instead of 30 years. So when we had the team's call with them last week, we talked about some very critical issues. The timing is one which I mentioned, so the short-term loan wouldn't be available until probably January of 2027. Probably the most significant is that you cannot reapply for another WIA until the old one is closed out. So it wouldn't be until summer of 2027 that you'd be applying for the WIA, and that would be rolling into your long-term loan in early 2028. So obviously the advantages are a higher grant potential, so an overall increase of about $2.5 million in additional grant, 2.438 to be exact. The risks are the gap in the funding availability, and negative in terms of increasing the cost of the ban interest, although certainly different ways to finance that. We kind of wanted to be conservative at this point. And you would be giving back the the rest of the grant that you aren't using right now, $2.6 million, and we would basically get returned to EFC at this point. So that's pretty much where we left the decision, or the question that we wanted to get presented to the board so they could make a decision. I think both Barry and the mayor understood, the risks and rewards, I guess, that we were outlining with EFC, and just wanted to present it to you guys so you could understand it and, make a decision in terms of which way the village wanted to go. So I'm happy to answer any other questions on the two alternatives that are in play.
Karen, I just had one question. Can the ban be paid back using WIA funds, EFC funds?
Yes, it could, yep. It could, yes, that would actually, that's a very good point. That could probably go up above on this total. Yes, you are correct. So it would be 75 cents on the dollar on any ban interest that you had.
Yeah.
Yeah, the discussions that we had with EFC, could you kind of characterize their feelings about our potential for success with this second application that we'd be doing that kind of puts some of the grant money at risk possibly?
At risk, yeah. I mean, it's a big question. I think Terry Nelson, who's one of the directors, I don't think he was non-committal. He said he was optimistic, but they honestly cannot commit and say for sure that this will be money that you will absolutely receive. It is a competitive arrangement each time. It all depends on who applies and things like that in that specific year. But as the mayor kind of kicked it off, I think they're very cognizant of the situation that the village is in at this precise moment, and the fact that you were reclassified as hardship is actually a benefit for overall for that being successful. But it is not a guarantee. I can't say for sure that you will get it. We do have one other client that did this a year or two ago and was successful, but please do not take that as my endorsement that this is absolutely going to proceed on that path.
And when we applied and received the $3 million, we weren't in the position of being a economically disadvantaged community.
That's correct.
So the points, we still got that money without those
Right.
points. So the project hasn't changed, but obviously the points, as long as they haven't restructured the whole point system, which I don't know, should
No, I
keep us in a
agree.
good position. It's gonna give us more, should give us more.
Well, is there a world where we have to give back the 2.6, then we get nothing back in the
Well,
next application?
Well, that's absolutely my question, Karen. So what if we move forward, gave back the $2.6 million, applied for the WIA and did not get it? What happens there? We shut it down? I mean, I just need to wrap my head around what that,
Yeah,
looks
I mean,
like.
I don't think shutting down you would be probably 40% through your construction project. I don't think it's like a turn back moment at that point, so,
Well,
yeah.
That's
it would be
the
a
risk.
total.
The risk is we're giving back 2.6 to get 5.
All right, well, we have some cash in the account now.
Right.
But if the GC felt they needed 6 million to do work starting this June, why couldn't we deplete the WIA grant funds now completely and then reapply right away?
Because we have to give that back.
We have to.
We have to close out.
Yeah.
Isn't using it closing it out?
no.
I'm sorry, what's the question?
I guess what Tom's saying is, can we extend the beginning of the can we extend the grant into the beginning of the project so that we could get more out of this existing one, put less at risk, and then apply in 2027?
So I had asked Rebecca that, I don't think that really came up on the call,
No.
and it has to be like very, very discreet work, so it can't be like, oh, we're touching the grit and the SBR and the EQ tank and the tertiary filter and they're all 20% done. If there was something that could get done and get done quickly, that was a potential, but that's not really in the cards with this large of a project.
That's a good idea.
Karen, if you just laid it out for them and asked, okay, there are certain things that we could put this towards and explain the risk, I mean, maybe they would give us some sense of, the likelihood of getting that next WIA grant. I don't understand why they have to have one closed out to start the next rather than kind of like roll it over. I mean, is it worth asking the question to them at least?
I believe, Mayor and Barry, you were on the call, that we did ask that question, and that's the way their program works. Each one of these, in theory, is supposed to be like a 5-year deal between starting and ending, so we're already at the tail end of your first loan. So,
And quite usually, when you have received WIA grant funding, you'll really not be in the running right away for another WIA grant.
right,
I mean, it sometimes there'll be like a 3-4 year gap before something else happens. And usually not for the same project, correct?
so that's why it's kind of two distinct projects. It's the UV project versus the wastewater, the rest of the wastewater treatment plant project. And because they were bid as two separate entities, that's kind of where they're drawing the line.
I'd like to stress test this with EFC and really ask the question about how, I mean, if we could use what we have instead of putting 2.6 million at risk.
They've said no. They've said we've
They
got it.
have said
They have
flat
said
out
no. Yeah, I mean, we brought it up, Karen and the mayor and I, and it was very clear that we stated that, we asked them how this would work, and they basically said, well, you have to close out the work that can be closed out. We'll give you the 25% on that work, and then you have to reapply. And unfortunately, with the timing, the reapply can't be until 2027. Well, if we'd have been able to close out the UV and design portion of the project prior to July, then we would have been able to do it in June or in the July timeframe for a new application. But the timing just just didn't allow that. And it still doesn't eliminate the risk of that, you know, that we'd be taking of not possibly getting the new WIA grant for the 5 million to cover the 21 million.
And they said explicitly there's no way that we can burn down a lot of that and give back a little bit?
Unless it was associated with the UV, unless we got a bigger UV system or added up.
Well,
to-
yeah, I mean,
it's like-
at this point, we've done what we could to carve out distinct work that's been completed and that EFC agrees that it's been completed,
Yeah.
that they can pay us the grant money for that, and that going forward, we have two choices. One is to continue with the grant we have and do the project that way, or put it at some level of risk and seek the additional almost $2.5 million in grant funding.
And we were suggesting also, there's WQIP that's coming up again, and I think the fact that you're now hardship has a better chance of potentially scoring with that. Again, if you get more grant money, that just comes off the top. That comes off first, and then it's 25% of the rest, but it's still a good deal. So you would never lose, I'm probably being confusing. I suppose if you got a WQIP grant and you stayed this course, you would never lose this $3 million because we wouldn't be getting that much more in WQIP grant. But again, those are super competitive also. You know, we do hundreds of them probably throughout our company a year and are pretty successful, but it's maybe a 10% hit rate overall.
But if we got $1 million, if we got $2 million from one of our US senators or our congressmen, then we'd basically be gaining $1.5 million because we lose the grant component of that $2 million
Right.
from the WIA grant. So
Right,
they-
the WIA grant is always 25% of whatever's left after any other grants that you get.
Oh, so they don't stack them.
No.
Yep.
But it's a win-win situation.
That'd be nice.
Free, you know, getting these taxpayer-funded grants is to our benefit as much as we can.
Karen, what's the likely upside of a grant with option 2 if we reapply in summer 2027? Like high and low, what's a range that you've seen based on other communities applying?
In terms of dollar values?
Yes.
Or,
Yes.
I think their max is $10 million. We've gotten $10 million for some other communities that are doing like $50, $60 million projects.
But again, no more than 25% of the cost.
It's 25%, yep,
Of the total.
Total cost less other grants.
right.
So the 21 million in the column to the far right is the cost that will be in the projects, the work that's ahead of us. And the grant for that would be 25% for the WIA grant.
So we can get up to 5 basically.
5.432.
The second piece would be a little over 5, if the totals come
Almost
in.
5.5.
If we don't use the contingency, again, I'm not trying to make it overly complicated, but if you don't pay this out, you don't get 25% back. So you just have to kind of think of the WIA grant as 25% of whatever you spend. If we figure out a way to save some money and not spend it, that comes off the top. So based on how this is split between the two, this right now, if everything stayed the same, this would be the maximum that you'd be eligible for on the second one, $5,041,800.
Yeah, so it's a swing of 2.5 million.
Yeah,
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's a big swing.
It is a big.
It is, I know it's challenging to think about it, because that's your, you know, when you put it in the mindset of the payment that you had in your head about the $500,000, it's 5 years of payments, so it's pretty significant. But
And you
yeah,
said
it's
that-
not guaranteed.
And with changing the designation to hardship, you said that with the current option, it comes with a 0%. Would they extend that 0% with the ban for the I guess the 2 bans for the
No, the
Second
bands,
option?
the bands don't come from EFC.
Oh,
Right.
okay, so it's not, okay.
We would get we had a zero interest loan when we started this to be able to pay our contractors and whatnot. There'd be a new zero interest loan, and then anything that we had paid can be converted. So as you alluded to before, Tom, the ban payments or the ban that's outstanding, the payments we've made could be converted to the zero interest loan. That's even before final funding, which is zero interest.
Right.
But there's a construction loan component that is also provided by EFC at zero interest
Right.
until you convert to your final.
So I believe everything you've been doing right now, you have not had to pay anything back. You would, once this gets closed out, they would figure out your total for your first project, the UV and the wastewater treatment plant design, give you 25%, and then close that out as a long-term loan. Again, it's all 0%, but that's a loan that would have to start getting paid back. You know, I think it's
39,000 to 40,000 a year.
yeah, if you went the whole term, yeah,
Right.
39,000. But you could use your reserves, you could do all sorts of things, whatever you choose to do.
I think we're gonna need the reserves for cash flow during the construction of the plant.
Yeah, I would kind of agree with you there, and I mean, why 0%, so why? Assuming you're making money on it in the bank
So,
somewhere.
so the debt service payments start as soon as you obviously
Close the loan.
borrow the money, or close the loan, or use it?
As soon as we close the first part of the project, that's when they would convert it to the zero interest loan. So that project would remain that way. It's a separate entity, and it would then put us on course for paying just under $40,000 a year to repay that loan at zero interest.
Got it. So if I look at those two columns in option 2, one's the UV and one's everything else basically, or UV and design.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, so all the costs you've paid to date through like April of 2026.
And that's engineered that way so that we could apply for a grant for loan 2 because it's not the same as loan 1,
Correct.
and we've used 500,000 of the current loan.
You've used,
More.
not sure, where were you seeing 500?
1.2.
No, I was just taking. We had like, what was the original grant for?
Our original grant was 3 million,
Three
just
million.
over 3
Yeah,
million.
so I thought we had like 2.5 left.
And we're getting almost 400,000 grant money to cover that,
Yeah, the one.
cover the cost of what we've spent, which is the 1.56.
So is the UV work completely done?
Yes,
Yeah,
I see now why you're saying we can't throw anything towards the UV project. Okay.
yeah, it's been closed out for 2 years now, I think. Construction wise, yeah.
Well, thanks for explaining this, Karen. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I know it's tricky. So I don't know if there's any other questions on the topic, but we would, I think, probably need to know which way the village wants to go soon, because so that we'd have to add you to the Plus system. It's their internal loan system, so there'd be a little bit of work to be done to get you listed on that, and that has to be done by May 29th in order, if we're gonna go with the two-phase approach.
Great. Okay. Well, we'll be making that determination by the end of the week.
Okay. And we did confirm that everything that we did with your bands is fine for the 2 separate projects. All that work that we've done is perfectly fine. The attorney for EFC is on the phone, so no issues related to that.
Who's financing the band?
I don't think you have one.
We haven't-
we would have to finance the band. So at the point in time when we start needing money that we don't already have, that we can commit to paying contractors, we'd have to take out a band.
Does EFC do that kind of work?
No,
No.
no, it's a
No,
bond
it's a
entity.
short-term loan, it's just the problem of how long it takes, to get to that timeframe. So they will give you the short-term loan to cover construction engineering costs, all of your capital costs for the electrical and general contractor until that goes to short-term loan. So you won't have to pay anything on that for the 2.5 years that this is going on. You won't have any payback even at 0% until this is converted to a final loan.
So once we're given the grant and we do the paperwork, we're eligible then to get funding for any expenditures at 0% interest. If we didn't have to wait until 2007 to make application and we could have done it in 2006, we would have ended up a year sooner getting that 0% construction funding.
You know,
Or
honestly,
loan.
the whole hardship thing just kind of came about recently. I'm not sure what would have happened if this was 2 years ago, to be honest with you, so,
You're absolutely correct, yeah.
yeah.
That makes such a big difference.
It's honestly huge. It's, I mean, if you just look at it big picture, what you were gonna pay was $500,000 a year, and now with that 0%, it's in the 350, or well, I guess, sorry, I have to add the, yeah, no, 352 a year range, so it's,
I don't want to question it, but why? Why are we qualified as? It's not a hardship kind of community, but the situation.
It's all based on
yeah, I think it
census.
just depends on like the projects that you have, different things that you've got going on, you're pretty proactive in terms of trying to keep your systems up, so it kind of all comes into play when they look at it. But I think
So
they did a special-
they look at census, the size of the projects, good behavior.
Yeah,
No, usually bad behavior gets rewarded more
Usually, yeah.
than good behavior.
Yeah. Usually when you have a
Yeah.
consent order that they're like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure, we'd have to find somebody that understands census data, and,
yeah,
I mean, we're in a position now where we're benefiting from it, so I don't wanna go looking under any rocks.
Maybe there's a double secret hardship
Yes.
you qualify for.
well, actually, we even did reach out to, so the town received a WIA grant for a wastewater project. And they had to do a survey of the folks that tie into the
Users
system,
in the district, yeah.
users in the district, and in terms of their income levels. And so that gave them the hardship designation, and so they were able to receive the funds that they received. So we thought, well, maybe they confused the village and the town, but that was not the case. So
no,
that was-
we reconfirmed with the EFC last week that you guys are classified as that.
Do you know how long? I
And
mean,
that was just a
how long does that
recent
last?
change in the last listing, yeah.
10 years.
Sorry.
10 years or so. Okay.
Well, we're 6 years into 10, but.
Well, thank you, Karen.
Yes, Karen, thank you very much. I appreciate
No problem. Thank you.
you addressing this issue, and we have to kind of figure it out, but thank you very much. We appreciate all
Okay,
the work.
sounds good. We'll be in touch.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot.
Okay. And now, public participation. Friends? Anything on your minds?
Motion 17.
Okay. There's nothing that you need to illuminate us about that, because this is your moment, you can.
That our treasurer is on vacation,
Yes,
so we understand the permission is provisional on receipt of the park fee.
okay,
But as far as I know, all of the insurance has been submitted,
yes,
so.
good. And this is an exciting week. The concrete is happening for the shelters, so that's really wonderful.
And then I guess too, depending on what we have done by then, if there were any picnic benches or whatever installed by then, we wouldn't need tables and chairs.
Well, that's great.
So it's, you know, so that's why I said we may or may not need in the letter,
Okay.
so,
It's better that you express the need up front. We can always modify it, so,
right,
very good. Thank you.
wonderful.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you.
You know, I just also want to say that this skate park initiative has been wonderful to work with, but has done just an incredible job at everything, you know, through this journey of having a vision, having a real dream, and getting there. So it's how many years and how many meetings?
150,000.
It feels like that.
Been quite a while.
Yeah.
And, but this is the first time it's not a fundraiser,
Yeah,
which is, I think, is terrific.
that's great. Yeah. We're just beginning to see the greatness of that park. I mean, boy, it's getting so well used already.
Yeah.
And I worry, I'm like, is it gonna get worn out?
It is cement.
I know. Got some hard skaters there. Okay, well, thank you very much. Okay, so we'll move on to motions.
Number one, fiscal year 2027 Orange Urban County Consortium Community Development Program Governing Body Authorizing Resolution, the Park Avenue/Parkway Project. The Village of Warwick is hereby submitting its application for consideration under the FY 2027 Orange CDBG Urban County Consortium Community Development Program, and the chief elected official or executive officer is hereby authorized to submit this application for the Park Avenue/Parkway project as described in the proposal. Input from citizens and groups has been received and considered, and an application has been prepared which addresses their community concerns. They further certify that they have read and understood the Orange CDBG Urban County Consortium Community Development Guidelines for the FY 2027 program year and have met all of its applicable requirements, and that the information contained in the application is accurate and true to the best of their knowledge. If awarded CDBG funds, the municipality shall implement the activities in a manner to ensure compliance with all applicable federal, state, and local laws and regulations.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, and it's roll call.
Trustee Cheney?
Yes.
Trustee McKnight?
Yes.
Trustee Calora?
Yes.
Mayor Newhart?
Yes.
Number two, motion to accept the bid and enter into a contract with M&R Energy Resources Corp. at a fixed price of $0.6275 per CCF for the supply of natural gas, and authorize the mayor to sign the same. The contract will be for the period of July 1st, 2026 to May 31st, 2028.
Okay.
Second.
This discussion, do you
Sure.
recall what it was last year?
Ah, Jen, you know.
You have an email with that information.
Let me go fish.
I do, okay.
I have many emails. Any hints?
Well, I do also.
Try
have it
deputy.
out. Let me get it. So here is the big sheet, and here is 2024.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Oh, because we did a 2-year last time, yeah?
Well, this is also 2-year, 26 to 28.
This is the. So annual usage, 34,000, is that right? All right, so it's a couple thousand more, I guess, than last time. Is that?
Please don't.
It was just the rate went up, yeah. Do you know what was that the, that's for a 2-year, did they send a single year? Just
They did not.
curious. Because that wasn't what we asked for in the bid.
Right.
Got it.
Okay,
I guess.
any other questions? Do we have a second? Yeah.
It was the only bid, right?
It was the only bid, yeah.
You know, I think you have a second, right? Somebody
I
seconded.
seconded.
Mary seconded.
Okay,
Yes.
so, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
3, motion to hire Nathan Branch to the position of seasonal Department of Public Works laborer at 40 hours per week for 16 weeks with a start date of June 8th, 2026, as per the recommendation of DPW Supervisor Michael Mosier. Salary will be based on the FY 26-27 budget.
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
4, motion to accept the proposal from Martin and Judas DPC dated April 29th, 2026 that provides a supplement for construction administration, construction observation, startup and record drawing services for the wastewater treatment plant improvements, project in accordance with the original signed contract dated December 5th, 2016 at a cost not to exceed $1,100,400 and authorize the mayor to sign the same. Funds are appropriated in budget code H 1440.2000.
Okay,
Second.
okay. Any comments? Okay.
Is that across the UV and wastewater?
No,
No,
this is just
yes.
for the work going forward on the
Okay.
plan.
The UV work was already paid for, basically.
I know this was an illustration, the spreadsheet that Karen gave us, but it said 1.1. It's the same thing, okay. 400. So the 927 is already sunk.
Yes,
Okay, thanks.
okay. So we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, the 927 was for the design.
Design, yeah, of all of it.
Yep. 5, motion to designate the mayor of the Village of Warwick as the Freedom of Information FOIL Appeals Officer of the Village of Warwick.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Great, another thing to add to my resume.
And you know it's onerous when our attorney has the biggest laugh.
It didn't have to be you, but
I know you did give me an
I
out.
did give you an out.
Thank you.
Hopefully the deputy mayor was not the out.
Just any other member before.
Oh, okay.
Don't give him those outs.
Yeah, there are 4 of us and only one of him.
Yay. So Mary, do you want to take,
Yeah.
Carly's.
I'm not sure if I can get through all of them, but I will do my best.
okay.
Motion to add
We
5
can split it.
additional intern seasonal positions to the Village of Warwick Civil Service Position Control. And authorize the mayor to sign forms MSD-222 in accordance with the Orange County Civil Service requirements.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. Motion to advertise for college and high school student interns to work part-time as needed to support the Safe Streets for All Transportation Safety Action Plan effort as part of the Safe Streets for All grant project with the compensation to be funded through the grant.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. Motion to approve the 2026 summer recreation staff and salaries as per the enclosed list for the recommendation of the Village of Warwick Recreation Director, Ron Antorini.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Motion to accept the proposal for landscape architectural services from Karen Arndt with the Landscape Architectural Services for Veterans Memorial Park pedestrian space, parking and over 35 area at a cost not to exceed $9,500 and authorize the mayor to sign the same.
There was some changes, a change in that motion, potentially.
It wasn't a change, you just wanted to look at the,
So I knew that there was the scope of services, but this isn't the actual contract, this is just their proposal.
that's all I
But
have.
it does have contract, I'll second it. And then
Okay,
we
yes,
can go.
thank you. I'm sorry.
But it does have contract terms. One of the ones that I saw was the ownership of the documents. And I was hoping that, you'd be able to look at that and decide whether that was something, so, I think as long as the attorney's gonna review it,
Right,
then
yeah,
I'm fine with moving forward.
yeah, you can
Yes.
just make it subject to our review.
Yes. So could we add
Do
that?
you wanna add that, Mary? Subject to just some,
Subject to
So
attorney
yes.
review.
Subject to attorney review.
Okay. And seconded as amended?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion to grant permission to the Warwick Valley Chamber of Commerce to hold the 36th Warwick Apple Fest on Sunday, October 4th, 2026, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the area between Lewis Park and Stanley Deming Park, encompassing High Street, South Street, Railroad Avenue, Railroad Green, including the following parking lots: South Street parking lot, Chase Bank parking lot, First Street parking lot, as well as Veterans Memorial Park for event parking. Event setup will begin on Sunday, October 4th at 6 a.m. A breakdown will be completed by 7 p.m. Request includes use of 9 village-owned stage platforms, use of electricity, use of speakers and/or sound systems, setup of food trucks, vendors, portable toilets, and tents. Request also includes the setup of an ambulance tent at the Hamble Court on Saturday, October 3rd, 2026. Completed facility use application, proper insurance, detailed map, and security deposit have been received. Approval is subject to the Warwick Valley Chamber of Commerce providing the Village of Warwick with a complete list of vendors and individual vendor insurance certificates naming the Village of Warwick as additional insured.
Okay.
Second.
Just a question, that it includes use of speakers and or sound systems. I mean, are we expected to provide the sound for all the stages? I don't think we
No.
have in the
No.
past.
No.
Just- Okay. Just so that's clear.
Yeah. Okay, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain. Motion to grant permission to the Warwick Valley Chamber of Commerce to close South Street to Lawrence Avenue, Railroad Avenue, South Street, 3rd Street, High Street, Bank Street, Clinton Ave, Park Lane, Parkway, and Park Place for the benefit of Apple Fest on Sunday, October 4th, 2026. The only transportation allowed through Park Lane and Park Place will be the shuttle bus. Road closures will be in coordination with the Warwick Police Department and the Village of Warwick Department of Public Works.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain. Tom, do you mind taking the
Yep,
rest?
not at all. Motion to grant permission to the Warwick Fire Department to use Veterans Memorial Park to hold their annual carnival per their letter dated March 25, 2026. Set up to begin on Sunday, June 21, 2026, and breakdown will be completed by Monday, June 29, 2026. The carnival will be open to the public from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Wednesday, June 24, 2026 through Friday, June 26, 2026 from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturday, June 27, 2026. Fireworks are scheduled for Saturday, June 27, with a rain date of Sunday, June 28. Request includes use of alcohol in the park. The Warwick Police Department, Warwick EMS, Warwick Fire Department have been notified and have reviewed the event details. DPW Supervisor Michael Moser has approved the event details, including the traffic and parking plan. The carnival setup must be in coordination with DPW Supervisor Michael Moser. Completed park permit, proof of insurance, and host liquor liability have been received. Approval is pending receipt of proper insurance from Fireworks Company, July 4 ever, and signed hold harmless agreement between the Village of Warwick, Gillette Shows, Warwick Fire Department, and Warwick Fire District, including review from the village attorney and NYMER, the village's insurance carrier.
Correct.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. July Forever is the name of the fireworks company. That's awesome. All right, motion to grant permission to Christ Church to use the Veterans Memorial Park Pavilion for a family picnic on Sunday, September 13th, 2026 from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with setup beginning at 8:30 a.m. and cleanup being completed by 2 p.m. Request includes use of the pavilion restrooms. Completed park permit, security deposit, and proof of insurance have been received.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Motion to grant permission to Christ Church to use the Stanley Deming Park baseball field for the annual family kickball game on Thursday, June 11, 2026 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Request includes use of restrooms. Completed park permit, security deposit, and proof of insurance have been received.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Motion to grant permission to close Church Street and restrict access to local residential traffic from Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026 through Thursday, June 4th, 2026 from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. with a rain date of Friday, June 5, 2026. Road closure to accommodate the annual 4th grade school tours. Certificate of insurance has been received.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Motion to grant permission to close off 2 parking spots in Church Street along Lewis Park on Saturday, June 20, 2026 from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. to accommodate the catering team for the Town of Warwick Historical Society's annual Party in the Park event. Certificate of insurance has been received.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Mary, do you want to pick this one up?
Oh, yeah. Motion to grant permission to the Work Skate Park Initiative to hold a skate event at the new Robert J. Newhart Skate Park and Veterans Memorial Park on Saturday, June 13th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. with setup beginning at 10 a.m. and cleanup being completed by 4 p.m. Request includes use of electricity, a sound system, the serving of complimentary food, and the use of restrooms. Request also includes DPW providing extra trash cans around the area, the use of 3 village-owned tables, and 20 village-owned chairs. Completed park permit and proof of insurance have been received. Approval is pending on receipt of security deposit and proper insurance from Shredco.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Okay. You're the abstainer
I am the
tonight.
abstainer. Well, I'm involved in a lot of different things. It happens.
And that's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to close Village Hall on Friday, June 19th in 2026 in observance of the federal holiday Juneteenth.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I have a motion to acknowledge receipt of standardized notice from the New York State Liquor Authority for an on-premises alcoholic beverage license for Flower and Feed LLC located at 63 Wheeler Avenue, Warwick, New York 10990, and authorize the village clerk to submit a letter notifying the New York State Liquor Authority that there are no objections to this notification and application, and does not waive the 30-day notice requirement of the filing of a New York State liquor license application.
Okay.
Second.
Pondering. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Do we have any addendums?
No.
No. Oh, amazing. We'll go on to reports and Trustee Cheney.
Yeah, kind of just a few comments regarding the construction, the ongoing construction. We've been in contact with the construction company in reference to the intersection of Colonial
Thank
Ave
you.
and Forester to try and see if there aren't some, and then that extends to Maple, if there aren't some ways to either get an additional flagger out there or try and move things along. I mean, it's a choke point even without the construction. We recognize that, but we're gonna, try to do what we can to try and see if we can't make it a little better situation. To the extent you can, I would suggest you try and avoid that intersection if possible. The only other thing, as you know, the construction's ongoing, but one of the more recent changes to the schedule is that the roundabout will not be constructed until 2027. Some issues, I guess, with detours and other projects that are ongoing during that period. But otherwise, just be very careful. The construction workers are there, and drivers are a big part of their safety as they do their work.
Thank you. Yes. Very much so. Mary?
The summer newsletter will be going out beginning of June, so keep your eyeballs out for that. And over the weekend, we had the 4th annual May Mental Health Fair, an event that was really nice.
It was wonderful. Well attended.
Well attended. And that's, we'll be starting the summer concert series at the end of the month, so I think the digital flyer has been out already, but we'll be doing the print flyers in the next couple of weeks.
Great. Very good.
Oh, and we just booked the what's his name? I forget his name.
The square dance.
The square dance caller that we had at the Winter Wiggle last year will be doing a summer square dance.
And that'll be in Stanley Deming Park on the basketball court?
Yes, and that'll be sort of our 250 celebration.
Okay, sounds like fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Tom?
No report.
No report. Okay, I just have a few things. First of all, we had a nice proclamation for our Department of Public Works. Well, on Sunday, myself and a lot of the Warwick Valley gardeners were down at the DPW garage planting the pots that go all throughout the village, to make it beautiful. And 3 of our DPW workers came and volunteered to help us out. And I just thought that was
That's so
wonderful.
nice.
It was Matt Hahn, Shane Augustus, and Brendan Tuck. And
Wow.
yep, they did some heavy lifting for us, and that was great. So that was really important that they were there. So, but I want to thank them. That was above and beyond, but really wonderful in terms of I see the pride that these men take in their work, and this is just part of it. So thank you. I just want to remind everyone that next Monday is Memorial Day. There'll be a parade, of course, in the village. I believe it begins at 11 o'clock. Correct me if I'm, yes, the step off. It goes down Main Street, up Oakland Avenue to the Warwick Cemetery, and then there are some addresses that are done, and some memorial services that are done there, and then it moves on to go down 17A Galloway to the Catholic Cemetery, and then again there's some ceremony that happens, and then when that's complete, it goes down Forester. So we do the full triangle of the village of Warwick, and it ends up in Veterans Memorial Park at the Firemen's Memorial, Veterans Memorial, which is really wonderful too. So it's quite a day. There's also celebrations in our other villages, and I believe if you go into the newspaper, you can get the full schedule. They're all at different times. I think there's one in Pine Island, there's one in Greenwood Lake, and then there is one in Florida.
Greenwood Lake is at 2 p.m. at the American Legion.
Okay.
Yeah, Pine Island's usually
Early,
the
like
first one, right?
at 9, I think.
9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So very good. And then I just want to report a little bit on the Patriots Path. We're moving along. Our task force has been meeting, and we've been meeting with KAN, the landscape architects, who've been doing, I think, a terrific job. But one of the next things that we're doing is outreach to the schools. I have a phone call with the assistant superintendent of schools tomorrow to try to get the history departments engaged into some of the signage, the language for the signage that would be used for different eras along this pathway. So I'm very excited about that youth engagement as well. And then Safe Streets for All, again, is moving along. It's such a big grant, and was it Creighton Manning is continually doing the work for the townwide safety study as well as the villages. So that's really like the numbers and really looking at analytics. But then within the village, of course, part of that grant is some demonstration projects which are much more creative, and they're not permanent, they're temporary. And there's 10 spots that are going to be used. We have 2 artists that were selected, and they will I think they each have 5 of the spots, and they'll be creating artwork that will hopefully engage people and just not distract them, but make them aware that this is a place for slowing down and being attentive to pedestrians. So that's moving along. And then another grant that we've been working on, we've been working specifically with the town on a multi-use path along Route 94. And this was a feasibility study that we received, and we're getting close to finishing it. And it's been incredible work, and I think it is feasible. And we've been talking with the landowners. We clearly see where there are easements that are needed, but I think that we'll be able to find them. The town is definitely very excited about this. They've been doing just great work in terms of even possible land procurement. So I'm very excited about this. Once we get this in place in terms of easements and in terms of the agreements made by the landowners, the next step will be to apply for funding to actually create it. But we will have done our due diligence, and so I think we will be in a good place to potentially win some grants. And that is all I have for this evening, but we do have to go into executive session. And Tom, let's see, I think just to seek the confidential advice of counsel.
We have a motion to go into an executive session to seek the confidential advice of counsel.
Great.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
You want to mention that we're not going to be going back into?
Oh, yes, thank you. So we'll come back into our regular session, but we will not be doing any more village business, and we will close the meeting at that point.